Good evening, guys. Hey, coming at you live from Washington, D.C. after, and I'm not being melodramatic, it literally was the single most impressive night in the shared parenting community today, bar none. You've probably been seeing posts from other people that were attending the event. It went better than I would have expected. Normally with a shutdown, you're always concerned, members of the legislature, members of Congress going to show up, or the other people you had invited going to show up. And I'll be honest, I was kind of sweating for a little while. The airport's going to be shut down, and people won't be able to fly in, and people are going to say, "Hey, big boy, where's all the contacts?" But I'll tell you what, guys, I am just so thankful, so grateful for, first off, all the leaders that came up here. We had about 40 people. We did a photo op. I think we had like 30 people at the first photo op that we did today at the Capitol. But there were about 15 people that were part of the team that missed the chance. They came in we did that first thing in the morning. There were a few people that couldn't get over from the hotel. A few people came in late. There were 4 of them that were on the other side of the Capitol wondering where we were. But we had just a great team up here. Everybody was in sync. To my knowledge, nobody's out doing their own thing, pushing their own bill. Everybody's all working together. And that's what it takes, because if you have 40 people, and every one of the 40 people, this one just does one thing different, this one does a different thing different, this one does a different thing, you've got 40 pieces of chaos in what's going on. It was critical that we have everybody in step. For those of you that don't know, I've made 17 trips prior to now, laying the groundwork and the foundation for what's happening right now. And you'll be seeing and hearing from other people that'll verify. Because I know some people say, well, he says he's meeting in D.C., but what's he really doing? You're going to be hearing from a lot of people who are up here, guys. There are things that have been going on behind the scenes that will absolutely flip and blow your mind. 17 trips I've made up here until now. Well over 150 meetings with either the White House, HHS, members of the House, members of the Senate, large mega organizations within the DC Beltway, mega influencers within the DC Beltway, and there's a whole strategy. Because to get Title 4D reformed, you can't just file a bill. A lot of people think, oh, I just got a bill and we're going to file it and make all kinds of changes. Oh, it may sound real neat. You can just pinch yourself here and go to a happy place and that bill's going to pass. Guys, I don't know if you've been following U.S. Congress, but it's a little hard to get something passed. So there's a huge difference between writing a bill of what you want to pass and what has a snowball's chance in hell of passing, okay? And to get something to pass, it's going to take a minimum of 2 to 3 years. That's if we're lucky. It's probably going to take longer than that. How do you speed the process up? You get leverage. How do you do leverage? You get an executive order from the White House, and you get a regulatory change from HHS. Because when you're meeting with members of Congress, they're always going to say, have you talked to HHS and what are their thoughts? So if you haven't met with HHS first, your bill's dead on arrival if you start filing a bill in the House or the Senate. So it's critical that you have all pieces of the puzzle. That's why every once in a while people say, do you have a bill that you're introducing? No, because I'm not an idiot, okay? You don't introduce a bill on the House first. That's a guarantee that everything you did, you just wasted all your time. Step 1 is you work with the White House. Step 2, you work with HHS. Then you find out from them, what are you in agreement on that if we passed a statute, you would be behind. Then we start working with members of Congress to say, hey, what would you have buy-in? You don't even look for a sponsor yet at this point. The state level people are like, I want to find a sponsor to file a bill. No, you don't do that at the federal level. At the federal level, you get them to buy in and invest in your project by helping you to craft the bill. And to work with Jason. How you doing, bud? Jason Gearhart from Oregon. But so that's what we've been doing. And some of you know I've been having some meetings at the White House, some very high-level meetings at the White House, which are now verified based on tonight. Because like I said, there's always these yin-yangs in the shared parenting community. Oh, he says he's doing that, but he's really not. No, I got about 40 witnesses in the shared parenting community now that will verify there were some pretty darn high-level meetings, higher than most people were aware of. And it's about to get even higher at this point. So tonight, just to let you know, like I said, I'll be honest, I was nervous last week because we're in the shutdown. Most members of Congress aren't up here, and their staff members usually don't show up to an event like this if a member of Congress not's going to be there. And I was kind of worried that it was just going to be a handful of people from the shared parenting community. So I had rented, just so you know, the Capitol Hill Club. I see Mark Reel. By the way, thank you very much, Mark. Mark is the vice president of the new organization, the National Council for Equal Shared Parenting. What we are doing right now would not have happened without Mark Reel. I mean, he literally is the guy who kicked my butt to get this thing going, has really expanded my vision. So, appreciate you very much, Mark, if you're still watching. But anyways, guys, so we had it at the Capitol Hill Club, because when you're in D.C., we've got to change the image from a bunch of angry dads who don't know what they're doing, and everybody runs up to Congress having no clue how the hell to do anything. We need people in D.C. to say, you know what? They look like they know what they're doing. They're almost as powerful as the Family Research Council or CPAC or Americans for Prosperity. These guys got their act together and they know what they're doing. Well, the Capitol Hill Club is kind of like the Mar-a-Lago of D.C. Everybody in D.C. knows if you're going to have a high level event, it's at the Capitol Hill Club, because it's a very exclusive club. You have to have a member of the club be able to vouch for you, and most members don't let you use their, George Rarick, how you doing? But they don't just let you use their membership. So I was very fortunate. Ed Martin, a very good friend of mine, we've been friends for 20 to 30 years now in Missouri, who's now with the Department of Justice, but Ed let us use his membership. So we were able to rent the room, and not only Ryan Powell, how you doing, bud? So anyway, we were able to rent the room. I got a call from Andy Biggs last week that he was flying in specifically for this. Andy's from Arizona. He's currently running for governor in a very tight race down in Arizona. And I was like, seriously. And he's like, no, I'm excited. I believe in your cause. Just so you know, Andy has now not seen his own Chris Rainbolt, Mr. Oklahoma, appreciate you, bud. But, Andy is running for governor, and he said, Mark, I still haven't seen my grandkid. It's been 5 years, and I haven't seen my own grandkids. I'm a member of U.S. Congress. What does everybody else do? And so Andy literally flew in specifically for our event, guys. That is powerful when you get a member of U.S. Congress, and those of you that were there heard what he had to say. That was powerful, and it was neat too, and I don't mean this to bring light on myself, because once again, this isn't about Mark Ludwig. It's about what we're about to do. But to give you an idea and the belief that we have a strategy that makes sense. And Andy talked about that. Andy talked about there's a lot of people that come to D.C. that have no clue what the hell they're doing. And for Andy to say, hey, I've known Mark. I've watched what he's doing. He's got a strategy in place. His strategy makes sense. And you've got to be strategy focused, not bill focused. You don't go file a bill. You need a strategy. If you lay the strategy right, you can do both offense on bills and defense on the bad bills. And you can run multiple bills. If you're bill focused, you may pass your bill. You probably won't. But even if you do, you got one bill passed. What you need to do is have a strategy and a system in place and a template that you can have all kinds of bills passed once you get the template. And it was neat to not have me say it, but for the people tonight to hear Congressman Andy Biggs, for him to say it tonight. And then my friend Eric Burleson showed up from Missouri. He's a congressman from Springfield, Missouri. Same thing. He was there. Normally at these receptions, members of Congress will make an appearance, take a couple of photo ops, and then boom, they're out the door. Eric was there, I think, for an hour and a half tonight. That's powerful. And he said, too, hey, I came because I believe in Mark. I've seen what he's doing. I saw what he did in Missouri. I see the strategy. And I see you guys are a part of that strategy. And that's the whole key, is now we're getting systematized. Up until now, I made 17 trips by myself, which were needed to lay the foundation. But now we need to scale. And we need to scale up. And just like Michael Gerber in the eBith talks about, of systematizing, where it's not dependent on Mark Ludwig, it's the team. And it's a whack-a-mole approach. You may whack one of us down, but we got 10 more coming right behind it. And that's my goal. We're coming back in... oh, Langford. Yes, Chris, Langford's chief of staff was here, by the way. But, so we're creating a template and a system. We're going to be back here in February. You have to be a part of the training, guys. No exceptions. 0 exceptions. We're not wasting time with somebody who thinks they already know everything. So we've got a legislative leadership development program. It's a training that we do with some Zoom meetings and everything, talking about the culture of Washington, D.C. Because there's a specific way that you conduct yourself in Washington, D.C. A certain way that you start a conversation with legislators up here. A certain method that we use. And that's what we cover in this legislative leadership development program. So I'm not trying to sell the program, but literally, if you want to come in February, I need you to be on all these Zooms, okay? Because you're going to blow it if you're not. So it's stlmarkludwig.com, STL for St. Louis, stlmarkludwig.com, and then click on Membership Legislative Leadership Development Program. You have to be a part of that if you're coming in February. Because I tell you what, guys, what I want is a trained leadership army. So anyway, so Congressman Andy Biggs shows up, Congressman Eric Burleson, and then a congressman from Alaska shows up too, which was really neat, an extra addition coming in. Then we had 4 chief of staffs. We had Congressman Langford's office. We had, Senator Langford, Senator Cotton, Congressman Bob Onder from Missouri sent his chief of staff. Congressman Marlon Stutzman, a great buddy of mine from Chris Cole. Hey, proud of you, buddy. Yeah, guys, Chris Cole will vouch. Chris was there tonight. He saw with his own eyes. So you got to hear from Chris what his thoughts are on tonight. Daniel Martin. Daniel has been Kathleen. Oh my gosh, the whole team is here tonight. This is so cool. You guys are probably down in the lobby while I'm up here in my room watching this. That's funny. But anyways, yeah, appreciate Kathleen, appreciate Daniel. But yeah, so we had Congresswoman Sparks from Indiana's chief of staff. We had Congressman Marlon Stutzman from Indiana staff. But then we had some neat influencers. Paul Teller, a friend of mine from the White House. He was the legislative director for Trump in the first term. He was there. Bob McEwen. I'm telling you guys, I'm not exaggerating. He is considered one of the top 10 most influential behind-the-scenes influencers in all of D.C. He's been a personal advisor to 4 U.S. presidents. This guy is the behind-the-scenes guy. He is the guy, in a good way, they call him the puppet master because he pulls so many strings. Man, we got the whole team here. I see John Nichols on there. I see Phil Creed. Guys, I'm telling you, you got to check with some of these guys and see what they thought about this tonight. So Bob McEwen, matter of fact, Bob believes in this so much. I was with Bob in Branson, Missouri on Thursday for the National Association of Christian Lawmakers. Bob flies out at 4 in the morning tomorrow, or he has to leave. He doesn't actually catch his plane. I think his plane's at 6:30 or something. But he has to wake up at 4 o'clock tomorrow to catch a plane to New York, to catch a plane to Poland. He just got back this morning from Branson, and he made the effort to be there with us tonight. And he gave a great talk, too, by the way. All the people who were here will vouch. It's moved from his head to his heart with Bob. He's into this issue. And he's been a great personal mentor. He's been a friend of mine for 30 years. And once again, it was neat because I always tell people that I'm a friend of Bob's, and I know people think, is he really a friend or not? I promise you, Daniel and Chris and some of the people there will vouch. Yeah, it looks like Bob thinks a lot of Mark, okay? Because Bob gave a pretty darn good talk about what he believes with the strategy that we're implementing. Then the coolest thing was some of the influencers. I was at a rooftop reception with some friends from the White House. Was that last night? Wow, I'm losing track of time. It was Monday night. Yeah, so it was last night. And I ran into a bunch of influencers here. They showed up in force. I cannot believe all these guys showed up. One of the co-owners of the Museum of the Bible, one of the 2 co-founders, Jerry, was there for us. I did not expect him at all. Tim from the Focus on the Family. This guy is literally, he is focused on the family, basically. And he was there, and we had a great conversation. He literally said, Mark, I'll just tell you what, next week I want a Zoom meeting with our board of directors. He said, Focus on the Family is going to get fully behind you on this project that you're doing right now. So we got Focus on the Family there. We had Nicole Jenkins. Nicole was on the Black Advisory Panel for Trump. For the White House. She was there, actually very involved in military issue now. She's also a co-owner with Ben Carson in a chain of military urgent care facilities across the country for veterans. I forget who else. Oh, we had Ben Corbett. Ben was a personal friend of Charlie Kirk and helped Charlie establish all the chapters in California. All the TPUSA chapters in California were started by Ben Corbett, who was a friend of Charlie's. Ben was there tonight. He's also on the National Advisory Board for the College Republicans, Nationwide College Republicans. So it was just neat as you went around there. Oh, the Star Foundation, Star Parker's organization, the Cure Foundation. Any of you have ever heard of Star Parker? Runs a very large foundation for urban renewal. And I had met, when I was in Boston, the person, Star's retiring after 25 years, so the person that she's designating to take over her legacy was sitting next to me in Boston at a dinner, and I had invited him. He lives in Michigan, and I had forgotten, but last week I remembered, oh, that's right, that guy, I need to give him a call. So I called the Cure Foundation's headquarters, and I said, hey, I was just wondering if he wanted to come. I'm doing a reception at Capitol Hill Club. They said, oh, sorry, he's in Michigan. He won't be able to make it. He's in Michigan all week. He shows up tonight. I had no idea he was showing up. He's like, Mark, I wasn't going to miss this. We want to partner with you at the Cure Foundation. So he literally, I was like, how long are you going to be in town? He said, no, I literally flew in town for this. He said, I'm flying out tonight after this is over to go back to Michigan. So guys, it is just so cool to realize this is where we need it. And I don't say this to brag on me, so don't think this is the Mark Ludwig moment or anything like that. What I want you to get excited about is that our issues are finally being heard by the top circles. And they're being heard so much and being believed so much, and they're buying into the concept that they're flying in from Michigan, that the co-chair or the co-founder of the Museum of the Bible shows up at our event. Bob McEwen shows up at our event before he flies out to Poland in the morning. 3 members of U.S. Congress, 4 chief of staffs from Congress are all showing up to see what's going on with the shared parenting community. Now here's where it gets exciting. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? I promise you, Congressman Eric Burleson and Congressman Andy Biggs are going to tell at least 10 of their colleagues in the U.S. Congress about the event that Ludwig had last night. It's not about Ludwig, but it's about the issue. It's just some of them know who I am, so they call it the Ludwig thing. But realize, guys, our issue is being talked out there. Think of the lobbyists who were here. Think of Focus on the Family. Think of the reach that they have. Guys, I'll tell you what, it was a powerful night, and I'm not kidding. I think every single person who was there will say the same thing. This was the single most impressive event in the history of the shared parenting community, bar none. Ryan Powell, appreciate you, by the way. But I promise you this, guys, and I'm not trying to be melodramatic. I promise you, you ain't seen nothing yet. This was not the end. This was the start. Just like pool, every shot lines you up for the next. Today was not about today. Today was about a launch that we're about to kick ripping butt. I almost said the F word. I'm so excited here. But we're about to go flipping butt. Let's say that. But we really are, guys. We are moving up to the big leagues at this point. And the key is we have to have a strategy. Like I said, I don't want any lone rangers out there trying to get a sponsor on their own or trying to file their own bill. Anybody is welcome in this. As you guys know, I'll collaborate with anybody. But don't you dare ruin our project. Don't you dare ruin. We have one chance to do this right. I don't care if you love Trump or hate him. He's the only guy that has the kahunas that's going to make a change like that if we want to. Every other president on both sides of the aisles have been wimps for the last 40 years, and they didn't have the spine or the guts to do something. Trump's the only guy that if we can get him to believe in what we're doing, he's going to say, hell yeah, we're making that change. So if we don't get this change done in 3 years, I promise you this. Your kids and your grandkids are going to be paying a price. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth being a Lone Ranger, or you want to come join the team? I've collaborated with anybody for 11 years now. There's not a person watching this can say that I haven't collaborated with anybody. I will work with anybody, but I need you to be a team player. You know, if you're on a football team and they have a playbook, you better run the play that they call. So you're welcome to the team, but I need you to play in the playbook. We've got this orchestrated, guys. We're working very well with NPO. I can't say enough about them. George Piskor was here from NPO, did a phenomenal job this weekend. But let me tell you what we're about to do, and I'm telling you, you're going to piss in your pants when you hear this, okay? Because this is the start. This time we had about 45-something-ish people up here. I think there were some other people up here doing things on their own, but about 45 people on the team that literally were all in sync. But I want you to realize, February we're coming back. And we're bringing about 75 people when we come back in February. But I need them 75 trained people. You have to be a part of the Legislative Leadership Development Program. 0 exceptions. You don't come to a photo op. You don't show up at our reception. You don't show up at the breakfast. Either you're a part of the team or you're not. It's not the hokey pokey where you put 1 foot in and 1 foot out, 1 arm in and 1 arm out. Are you in or are you out? And if you're in, I want you fully in on this team. So you've got to be a part of the legislative, but I want you to picture this, guys. Imagine we come back in February, but how many people were here this time for the first time, but now they're being elevated as leaders? Imagine we don't just have 45 people that were here. We have people now that have been elevated that will literally rock it. I don't even need to come back. I'm convinced, and I'm not just saying this. I could stay home in February. And I promise you, you give me a Daniel Martin, you give me a Medea Kasem, you give me a Anthony Perez, you give me a Chris Cole, you give me a Mark Reel, you give me, I guarantee you, those guys can rock it. They don't need Mark Ludwig in town. I could sit in St. Louis, and I guarantee you they would rock the socks off this in February. So imagine we come back with 75 people. But imagine in June or July, we come back with Kathleen Arthur, another one. Imagine we come back with 150 people in June or July. And I want you to imagine a year from today, we bring 250 to 300, 400 leaders to DC. Not just people, not people holding signs, people that know how to walk into an office, that have the confidence, the belief, the posture to know, you know what, they know how to get this thing done. They can walk into any office, anytime, anywhere, and they can literally give the spiel that we need. And they're all going to say the exact same things. That, I tell you what, 250 like that is bigger than 50,000 yin-yangs out there holding the poster up. That's what we're creating. And I promise you guys, that's what we're in the middle of doing right now. So if you want to join Team Shared Parenting, as long as you're a part of the team, go to stlmarkludwig.com. It's stlmarkludwig.com. Join the Legislative Leadership Development Team. It's $30 a month. And I'll just tell you, I shouldn't have to apologize for that, guys. That's $1 a day or the price of one Uber Eats delivery of a McDonald's for you and your son. If you're not invested enough in the cause to say, you know what, that's worth it. Because where's that money going from? I'll tell you what, tonight wasn't cheap. Okay, we're looking at probably $12,000 to $13,000 to put this thing on. So all the idiots out there saying, oh, he's always asking people to pay for travel. Well, no, we rocked the snot out of this thing tonight. This will be talked about all over Capitol Hill. This will be talked about in the White House tomorrow. This will be talked about at HHS. And this will be talked about by the biggest legislators and lobbyists all over the Hill for the next couple days. I promise you guys, you talk about a return on investment, we rocked it. So if you get mad at me for asking for $30, where only half of it goes to me, and I put every penny I have into coming back up here, I'll tell you what, there's a problem with you. You're a narcissist, okay? Get the heck out of here, okay? So anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little Donald Trump in here. I'm getting fired up. But I tell you what, the reason I do is I've invested, guys. This isn't just something that I've tried doing. I've invested my heart and my soul. I've given up time with Levi. I gave up a corporate career that I could have had. I gave up a career to lobbyist. Not to brag, but I could have made $250,000 a year as a lobbyist for any other firm out there. I don't want to. It's not in my heart. My heart is in this. And I would much rather live the lifestyle that I'm living now and be broke all the time and having to beg for money than make $250,000 a year being lobbying for a firm that I don't believe in what they're doing. So my heart's in this, but I've spent 17 trips up here. I've spent hundreds of hours. So any wacko out there who has a problem, my challenge is, what have you done in the last 3 years? Name one person with the White House that you met. Name one member of Congress that you've met with. Name one lobbyist that you've done. What the heck have you done? So I hope you guys have my back, and if some wackadoo challenges me, I hope you say, you know what, you idiot? If you're not doing anything, stop complaining about somebody that is doing. So if you want to be a part of the team, we would love to have you guys. We are flipping, rocking it. And you're going to see pictures. I'm going to start sharing pictures probably tomorrow. I'm really exhausted. But I challenge you, go to, I'm sure Daniel Martin's page probably has some, Anthony Perez. I know Kathleen Arthur, I think, has been posting some pictures, all the people on the trip. I'll tell you what, this is a rocking trip, but you ain't seen nothing yet. We are coming back in February. We're going to do it right, but we want one team to do it right. 5 teams going in other directions. If I'm a legislator, my attitude is, I don't know who to listen to. I don't know which is the best one. Guys, if we all unite, one team, one plan, one strategic approach, we're going to be so much better than people trying to get us a statue and a trophy named after them. I'll partner with anybody, but be a part of the team. So anyways, appreciate every single one of you. Chris Rainbolt, I appreciate you, buddy. And take as much time as you need to heal. But whenever you're ready, Chris Rainbolt, I promise you, bud, I would love to have you back on the team. Holly, thank you so much for coming. Holly was a great one. And like I said, guys, I can't say enough of the team that was up here. These guys have been phenomenal. Everybody pitch in. What can I do? How can I help? Nobody complaining. Nobody, I don't know what to do. They're all just, hey, let's get the job done. And like I said, I can't say enough about the team that we have up here. So anyways, I'll stop rambling right now. You're probably sick of hearing from me already anyways. I'm sick of hearing from me. But appreciate every single one of you. I'm sure I'll be doing some more Facebook Lives tomorrow. Have a lot more meetings to go tomorrow, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Tonight rocked, and like I said, I'm not being melodramatic. I think everybody who was here tonight will literally say this was literally the single most impressive night in the history of the shared parenting community, bar none. If anybody's been to the other major conferences I've put on, those aren't even in the same level. I mean, not even remotely the same level as what happened tonight. And you ain't seen nothing yet with this team. I tell you what, you give me this team that I had up here, we're going to rock the socks off this thing. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, if anybody can send stars, those stars help out. Because like I said, this was a pretty expensive thing to put together. I mean, if everybody can send, I don't know what a star translates into. Is it I think it was, somebody said it was 1,000 stars for $1 or something like that. I don't know. But if everybody watching this would send $1 worth of stars, how much more we could get done for something like this. So anyways, appreciate every single one of you, and I will talk to you later. Thanks, guys.